Hello guys, you're welcome once again. And on this particular video, I'm going to show you how you use the layers, how to use the layer, this layer. I'm going to show you how. The next video, I'm going to show you how to use the layers that are here. So basically, let's draw a shape. Let's just imagine that this is the human head, for instance. Or yeah, this is the human head on this particular layer. You can actually name your layer. I can just say this is head. Let me draw the human shape. Let me bring another layer. I name this the ear, and then I duplicate that layer. Okay, let me not do that yet until I'm done drawing. Let me bring another layer. I call this my eyes. This is the best way for you to arrange your image. Put them into layers. It's better that way for you when you're trying to rig or do any other thing. It's better that way for you arranging them in layers. So this is my head, for instance, and then I want to draw my ears. I'm not doing a perfect drawing. I'm just showing you how things are done in layers. I'll start doing by next week. I'll start explaining details. So let's say this is my ear, for instance. Let's just say this is my ears. I'm applying those tools I've explained before to this particular video so you get a better understanding. Let me create a stroke. And I reduce I want this to be thick. Probably I want there to be friend. I get friend, I get thick, and probably a friend. Let's just imagine that this is my ears. Let me even do this. So this is my ears. Okay. Let's see, this is my ears, and I want this stroke not to be black. I want to be the same color, but yeah, I want to make it darker. Let's just say this is my ears. I can move it behind the head and adjust the ear to what I want. Okay. Sorry for that. What I'm using this layer to this layer. If I want to move the complete layer without alighting all, I can actually move it by moving the layer here. Then if I want, if you can look at this now, you're seeing this check mark. It's extended to this particular direction. If I want it to be just at this, I just move, what's it called, the point here. I can move it here. When I'm done doing that, then it will be on this particular layer, like you can see now. And then I can rotate this layer to this particular angle that I want it to be. And then if you come here, look at this is reference, duplicate layer. I can duplicate this layer instead of drawing. After duplicating it, which is my ear too, I can decide to flip it. This is flipping of layers. I flip it horizontally. I move it to this other side. Let me take it back, holding my shift so that it will be aligned. Even if I'm moving my mouse up or down, it will be at an horizontal, are you seeing it now? Straight line. So I move it to this ear, this other side, and if you discover the face here is not the same shape, it's not the same with the other shape. Let me just adjust the shape here to probably look similar. Or better still, I use the layer tool and I will take it. So let's say this is the ear, this is the ears, this is the head, the ears. These are two ears. Then the eye, I want to draw my eye. I drew my eye in the last. I'm just going to do something simple. I'm trying to make this video not too long. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do. So I draw this eye. Let's say this is the eyeball of this character. Let's say this is the eyeball. All I have to do is duplicate. Come here and click duplicate. I duplicate this layer and then I flip again. I go to the layer, then I flip it. Take note, I go to the layer and then I flip this. Then if I want to make sure that the layers are the center, I want to move this central what's it called, horizontal and vertical line. I want to move it to the shape so that when I'm moving the layer, I see it now is moving the particular shape. So that I move the eye, and then let me say I bring another layer. I call it nose. This is my nose. I'm showing you how to arrange your layers here, and also how to use the layer. Let's say this is my nose, for instance. I click on it, I make it a shape. Yeah, then I liked it. Control C, Control V, copy and paste, and I flick like I did before, and I just adjust it to, let's say this is someone's nose, for instance. I like doing that because it will be of the same size as your, it will be of the same size. Let's say this is the nose of this character. I can decide to join this two together to create a shape. Yeah, then I can make this of this nature and make it a little, sorry, not the stroke, okay? Make it a little bit darker or lighter. It depends on what you want. Let's say I make it a little darker, then I can decide to turn off this. I don't want this stroke to be on. Yeah, just turn off that stroke. I don't want it to be on. Then I don't want this stroke to be on either. Then I can do that. Yeah, I'm a lighting on. Until I just one side. I'll turn on my, so that you see what I'm doing. Turn on my lines, yeah. I can do it depends on what you want. Do that, let's say this is the nose, and then my mouth. I can decide to create my mouth in any way I want it to look like. I'm just going to leave my mouth this way. And let's say this is the mouth, and then let me create something of this nature. Once start doing proper animation, you start seeing how to create characters completely. How I create my characters. Yeah, there are different ways to create characters. I'm just going to show you how I create mine, and the best way. I've been an animator for a while, and I can actually give the little tips about that. So let's say this is my teeth, for instance. The best way to draw is to mask it. But I'm not going to do masking. I'm just drawing something. So I'm not doing a detail of it. So let's say this is the teeth. I copy this, I flip it to the other side, and then I'll adjust it. So let's say this is a character, for instance. So what did I just do now? I just create the mouth layer, the nose layer, the eyes, the two eyes layer, head, and then you arrange them according to what you want. When we start doing animation in proper, I'll show you how I arrange mine. Then I'll show you how to do head tone, and others. So all you have to do, you can just group them. What I did is I light the first one, I go to the last one, holding my shift. I light the last one, and then I right click, and I go to group selection. Then I can call this the head, just the head or something that has with that, the head. Let's say this is my head. Now I've grouped it into a particular layer. Now I can use this layer. So when I group, you notice that when I group with all other tools, these ones that are here, the drawing tools and fillet tools, they are no more there when I go to the group. So most times you click a group and you start looking for other tools, just know that you're on the layer, you grouped it together. So you're going to use just this tool, this tool, this tool. So now let me explain how to use this tool, this tool, this tool, this tool, this, and I click down so it's before and this. So first of all, let me explain this. I've explained it before. This is to put to centralize where you are drawing to. What's it called, the origin of your drawing. Yeah, so this is my origin of my drawing. So if I go to the layer and I move it, or let me say I rotate it, it's going to move. Are you saying that this is the origin? So it's going to rotate reference to that origin that I created. So if I decide to use here as my origin and I go back to my layer and I rotate, you seeing it now? It's going to rotate based on that origin. Are you seeing that? So if I decide to change the origin according to what I want, I use this when I want to do, probably I want the fan to turn. I change the origin of all the objects and then I start it. So this one is basically, I don't use this tool for nothing. I've not used this tool before. I don't use it for this. You can rotate. I think that I just rotate it facing this direction, choosing here as my origin. I rotate it facing this direction, or when I move my mouse to my right side, it faces this way. When I move it to the left, it turns and faces this way, like as you can see now. So I can decide to change the origin here too, and then I rotate it. It's going to rotate reference to that too. You seen that? So that is that about that too. So this particular one is rotating, but if you discover that you rotate, probably like what I did now, I drag my mouse to too fast, so it changes. I can just animate a character like this. That's my animation. You notice that what I'm doing, I'm going to reset. When you reset it, go back to 0, 0, 0. You see that if I move also for this, if I rotate it and I go back to reset, it takes it back to 0, the way it should look like. That's what I'm saying. Take it back to 0. This one rotates. It rotates what? X rotation and Y rotation. That is what it does not rotate. Z, the only up and horizontal and vertically. That is how it rotates. You can't rotate 360 with this, But with this particular tool, you can rotate your S, Y, and Z direction. As you can see now, the height is increasing, the length is increasing, and then the width is increasing. Are you seeing that now? So that is your for that about those two. So now let me reset this. The next tool, which is this one, I'm going to explain it. This particular tool, if probably I want to get, I explained this tool earlier on the phone, I think the first training. If I want to get to this particular shape, which is this ear, and as you can see, it's underneath every other layers here, and I want to get there quickly. Instead of me opening this particular grouped layers and start looking for what I'm looking for the ear, actually, I will just come and use this tool, click this tool, and I click what I want. It will take me there. If I'm going to the head, it takes me to the head. Go to this ear, it takes me to the ear. If it's the mouth, it goes to the mouth. The nose goes to. So if you want to adjust anything, you can use this tool, and then you start clicking. It will take you directly to what shape you're looking for. Or the other way, the shortcut is holding the Alt on your keyboard, alternate on your keyboard. Let me go to this tool so that I don't feel like I'm using this. Holding the alternate on your keyboard, then you right click. I've seen that. You right click. That's the shortcut. Instead of looking for this tool, you alternate and you right click. I use that a lot. That's one thing you should know. Because sometimes I've drawn the head, the hand, the leg, the clothes, and every other thing. And I want to just go to that particular layer without me scrolling down the group layer. I'll just come here and then I click, holding down my alternate, and then I right click. It will take me there immediately. So that's about this tool. Like this tool, if you look at it, you know it's alphabet. You write in a certain text. You can decide to insert your text. Let's say, let me write welcome, and then you change the font to what you want to be centralized, left, right. You do that adjustment here. You can decide to change the font here, and then the color. Decide to change the color here to what you want. Choose the color, and then the text you see. Then you click OK. So this is your text. That's your text. And if you want to move your text, go to the layer. This is your layer. Go to it, and then you can move the text how you want to rotate, and then adjust it. And then you can apply every other. Then you can decide to rotate it this way. It depends on what you want and start animating. Now people use this software for animation of text. Animation that has to do with words and other things. You can use this software to do wonderful animation. And then if you see this too, it's just a picker, color picker, like those people that are in just color picker. I don't use it basically. If I want to pick my color, I come in and I use color picker instead of using this color picker. So now I'm just going to explain the next one, which is your camera. Zoom in, zoom out, rotate this. This tool, I don't use this tool for anything. I'm just going to show you how to zoom in and then zoom out. If I come in here, this is to move my camera. If I come here, this is to zoom in. I see that when I'm going down, I'm zooming in. When I'm going up, I'm zooming out. So that is that about that. This is to position my camera. This is the camera you're moving. This is the camera you're moving. Let's say, let me open a project. So now I've just opened a project. On time meeting, I'll start showing how to open a project. So let's say, for instance, okay, let me go back. I'm done animating. For instance, I'm done animating, and then I want to move my camera. I want it at frame 0. With frame 1, the camera should be here. So when it gets to this particular point, I want the camera to zoom in, and then I want to make camera to zoom into this particular point. So what I'm doing now, this I used to zoom in, and then this I used to position where I want the camera to zoom in. This was from my last video I created. So now if I play this animation, I'm using the zoom in, it's just going to zoom to that particular place and stop at that particular frame that I stopped zooming in. Look at the frame at 96. That's when the zooming stopped, and that is where it will stop. So that is that about this zoom. Then this is to rotate. Are you seeing that? To rotate. I basically don't use this for animation, but you can use it. Maybe you feel like you want as you zooming in, you want it to rotate. Are you seeing that? It's rotating. You can use it for some Probably it's a nice. I'll start using it. I've not been using it. I don't really see need for it. But I think after doing this, I like the way it came out. So wow, this is great. You can start to change the view. Like this one, I'm looking for front view. You can just use that camera to change it. And then this other one too is to rotate. Are you seeing it now in 3D perspective? Are you seeing that? So when you're zooming in, you're rotating, and all you notice I've applied everything, zooming, direction, and then are you seeing that rotation? So you can use that. Those are your camera for that particular purpose. So let me just go to the last one. I try not to make this video long. So this is the last one, which is your palm, like those persons. Okay. Oh, sorry. And one thing is that you can reset your camera positions like you did the other time. You can decide to reset all. Reset them to get to the initial position. I just reset them. So this is how it looks like initially. So this palm is to drag everything. It's the same thing holding your, if I hold my spacebar is play also. So be careful. Sometimes you hold spacebar and then you start seeing your animation playing, or you start seeing this thing counting, this thing here is moving, that is playing, and never you animate when, or never you create anything while it's on the timeline. So that's for the palm here. You can start to click and then you drag. One thing I do is I don't use that. I started using it when I started animating. What I do is I just right click and I drag. Once you right click and drag, it's the same thing. You zoom in, right click, you drag to what where you want. You see that I can drag with my right clicking instead of holding palm, and it's the same thing. But when you hold palm, you now left click to drag. But when I'm holding my right click, I drag. And then like you see zoom, this is to zoom. You are zooming. This is what you're doing. You're zooming to probably you want to draw something. You zoom out when you move towards your left. You zoom in when you move towards your right. That's how it works in Moho. Moho basically is left and right. Moho is left and right. That's how it is. This is for zooming, not for camera. Not this zoom. Are you seeing this zoom? This zoom is up and down. Are you seeing that? This zoom is up and down. Why this is left and right? And one thing about this zoom, when you are zooming with this, you notice that this blue line is actually zooming in. And I told you initially that this blue line is what will appear when you render. So when I render a video, this is the blue line appearing here. If I decide to zoom out, when I render, you see it now, the whole thing appears here. So this zoom is the same with your screw on your mouse. So if I want to zoom in, for those of you that are not using mouse, you want to use your what's it called, the computer mouse to do the work. Now you can zoom with this instead of that. So this is rotation. Rotation, that is just to rotate. Yeah. Then this is rotating at another perspective. If for instance I want to draw, if you look at this now, this is what I will explain to you now. This is my camera pointing at this thing. So this is my camera. This blue was it here? That's my camera pointing at it. So I might decide to come to this video now, and let's say I want to create a scene. For instance, I want the building to be far. Let me reset this. I want this building, let's say, okay, let me put a road. I want this road. You know what I did now? Shift by click to get to it instead of looking for it, like I explained. For instead looking for, you see a lot. This is a lot of drawings I've done here. So I'll start looking. This one is car, 1 car, 2 car, 3 car. So I want to get the road. So I'll start looking for road, and I didn't name it road. Are you seeing that? I just put layer 3. I didn't name it road. So how can I get it easily? I can decide to come here and then I get. And one other thing you should notice, you can also color your layers. If I click here, I checked it. If I want to color my layers, let me drag this a little. So you see here, you click here, you can change the color. Are you seeing that? I just change it to blue. I just change it. So for easier identification, maybe you group some layers and you want this group to be different from this group. I come to this group, I change to the color I want. I come to this group that I grouped, I change it to the color that I want. So that then you can search for here too. You can actually search for what you're looking for, a layer that you're looking for. Let's say car. Now these are the cars that will appear, and that's better. And then delete. You can delete with this. Then you can create a reference layer with this, and then you can duplicate layer with this. Reference layer will be explained when we start animating. Yeah. Then these are the 4 things that you use basically in your animation. This one's layer compound. You probably might not need to use it now. So okay, let me go back. Let me reset this. So I was trying to explain something. let's say for instance now I want to move this road behind. So after clicking on the road, I come here, I change the perspective to look like I'm viewing from the top, and I want this road to be behind. I just allow the road, and then I go back to the layer, then I reset it by taking out, I want to be behind. Yeah, okay, the road and the building are all connected, so I'm moving road. This is Z axis, I'm moving it to the Z, to behind the drawing. This Z axis, sorry, Z axis, sorry about that. So what I do is I screw my what's it called, my wheel on my mouse. I just rotate it to where I want to be, and then if I reset it back, it comes back to where it is. But if I want it to move back, I try to move it here. I can move there, and then my what's it called, I can decide to view from the top again. So when I'm creating an animation, for instance, now the road will be far behind this building. It will be far behind. It's not going to appear that it's at the same, Are you seeing it now? Okay. And what will explain it better is when I'm moving my camera. Let me move my camera. Let me move stuff behind, and then I move it there. Are you seeing now? When I'm moving the camera, the road. Are you seeing the road? The road is almost like is moving at a different, it's moving like they are not on the same. Are you seeing that? The road is moving, and then the image is moving at a different speed or a different pace. Yeah, are you seeing that? So this indicates it's like a 3D. If you want to do, there are some backgrounds you do where probably you're running. You want the building not to move the same as the human running, so the building will be far away while you run. There are some effects you use that to do. So that's for, I just decided to explain that with that. Yeah, so I believe that is all for the class. I want to appreciate you for your time and staying. So next week we're going to start drawing and then explain layers, and then I'll draw a full character. I want to do me a favor, please send me probably a sketch diagram that you've done of a character, not an object. Thank you very much once again, and see you next week. Please do well to submit your assignment. I want to draw in layers. That's the assignment. I want to draw in layers. Now you're going to send me a picture of your screen. Yes, I want to see the layers. So draw in layers, the eye, the nose, the mouth, the ears, arrange them, and then I want to see how you did that, and I'll see you the next video. Thank you very much.